If you're going to use a corrective software for your studio monitors, does it really even matter what set you decide to spend your money on? That's what I wanted to find out. Let me start by saying that I'm not very informed on the science of sound in this department. I'm just a consumer that uses this gear and software to make music. Don't come at me in the comments. I'm just trying to help other consumers with like very basic questions that I also have. With all the companies nowadays offering some sort of speaker correction software for your studio listening environment, I wanted to try an experiment. If you're new here, my name is Brandon Wells. I'm an artist from Austin, Texas. I write, record, and release music on my own. This YouTube channel is a place where I make videos about things that have helped my journey as a solo artist, and hopefully that can help others in their own way. So here I have two different sets of speakers. The first set is a pair of PreSonus Eris in the 8-inch model, and my other pair is the iLoud Micro from IK Multimedia. I bought the 8-inch pair in 2019 because I was always told and thought that the bigger your cone is and the speaker is, the better. The more frequency range you'll get from your speakers. Also, as you go up in price, the better the frequency curve will be for monitoring. Last year, I bought this pair of iLoud monitors because I realized in my music making career that I was spending most of my time and energy just writing and recording my song, like my own music. And I'd end up just sending things off to get mixed anyway. The size of the big speakers didn't really seem necessary with that sort of mindset. And I wanted to feel a little bit more decluttered and simple with my desk. Plus these Eris monitors are 25 pounds each. So most of the electric desks that I've had in the past couldn't really handle having these on them with all my other peripherals and accessories. I liked both sets of speakers. They definitely sound different for sure, but they both do the job. These last few months I decided to go the route of mixing my own music finally, and I took the challenge of doing my own 5-song EP. So naturally I brought out my 8-inch monitors from the closet and set these up for better monitoring. Now, I purchased the Sonarworks software in either 2017 or 2018, I can't really remember, because back then I thought I was going to try to learn to mix on my own finally, after many years of trying. I felt this way at multiple points in my life and then swayed the entire other direction to working with someone else, but that whole part of my journey isn't really what's important here. In my current space, I set up Sonarworks and measured these 8-inch speakers to mix this EP, and it worked great. The EP's done, and now I'm in a different phase of music stuff where I was wondering about putting these monitors back in the closet, and also see how Sonarworks would work on these little iLoud monitors. And the question that I was arriving at was that if this software made my speakers flat in my environment, shouldn't that make all speakers flat in the same environment? If so, is it really necessary for people at my level to consider purchasing different monitors, just in different price brackets, if two speakers are technically providing the same frequency range? The difficult part is that I don't have two sets of monitors that are the same size to compare apples to apples. The Eris monitors range from 35 Hz to 22 kHz, and the iLoud go from 45 Hz to 22 kHz. So there's just more low end on the Eris for sure, because an 8-inch speaker. But I still wanted to do this test to see how things compare to each other and to see if the soundstage really made that much of a difference with speaker correction software. So I'm gonna play a few different things back here to compare the two. For this test, I thought that using a stereo microphone setup would be the best to hear things a little bit more spread out and be more analytical with headphones than just a single mono mic signal. And I don't have two of the same microphones for anything, so the best stereo mic that I own is a little Zoom H1N. It's just a decent, cheap, portable field recorder that does 24-bit at 48 kilohertz wave recording. It's a unidirectional condenser with a 90-degree XY stereo format. I'll play a track or two of my own, and then a few royalty-free tracks of other genres. So here's the test.
Something golden, mostly precious, so unseen. But no, you never wanna say, hey. You only wanted me out on display. You only had me if at all. me like the loud. Something I buy, teach you this right.
First of all, it was really hard to calibrate the iLouds. I've never done those ones before, but the Eris ones only take like 5 or 10 minutes in any room that I've ever set them up in. So this was a lot longer. I think the size of the cone and the stereo field being much smaller made it harder to like detect the microphone position. The iLouds can reach a similar frequency curve, but the more obvious bigger difference is with the main other components. The smaller cones don't really have as much separation. I can just hear more inside the bigger speakers. You feel like you're like inside the audio rather than just listening to it. I thought it might have something to do with the speaker position, just with the height of the speakers and how close they are in my listening position. So I tried rigging these little speakers as close to the other treble cone as I could to try to match placement and stereo width. But then I realized a big problem with that was that moving the speakers out of that position into a different position completely voided out the Sonarworks test of those iLouds. So I'd have to redo that signal again. So that just seemed like a pain. But anyway, it didn't really turn out to be super different. It just turned out to create some weird different stereo spread going on. I think it just goes to show like what is possible with a bigger cone. The Eris monitors are 1 foot tall from the bottom bass port to the top treble cone. And the iLoud is 6 inches from the bass port to the top of the cone. So literally half. Basically, I think this was just a great example of demonstrating physics, like how the size of a cone and the quality of the components, they all affect the sound, and it's not just about the frequency curve that they can put out. I also think that this test is actually cool to see how these little speakers can be decent like travel monitors. And shoot, if you're using things like VSX headphones to mix anyway, like going back and forth, like these might actually be great things to check in your own room as like a low budget speaker test. So anyway, my next question is like, what happens if you compare two monitors that are the same cone size with room correction? Is that a smaller gap? Leave a comment if you want me to do that test. And if you live in Austin, leave a comment and let me try it out with your speakers because I don't own any others. And I'm not trying to buy a whole new set to do this test, but that's about all. So thanks for watching.